Yay! Shimchu, more building. Sims, fun times. So this is lilsimsie's Simsie challenge, shell build challenge thingy-mabob. I may have murdered that in a sentence, but you know. Simsie's shell build challenge. So lilsimsie built all these exterior walls, this box of a house, and you gotta work with that to create a house. The rules for it I mean, there's a competition, but I don't really care about that. Anyone could do this like 30 years from now. The rules could still be relevant. Anyway, the rules are don't change any of the existing walls or add exterior walls, but you can change wall height, so that's chill. You can add walls in the interior to get a floor plan. Be a bit awkward otherwise, it'd be one very open floor plan. You can add additional fences, foundations, and all on the outside. No custom content, and you can move the shell around on the lot, or even to other lots. I didn't bother with most of these. I was like, I'll take it how it is, and I'll work on that. I kind of ended up going with a sort of monochromy, black and white, but not quite, because there's a little bit of touches of color here and there. Vaguely like fancy modern theme. You'll see. Keep watching. It's fine. And I decided that there is totally a celeb sim that lives here, but they're not, you know, a global superstar. So it's, you know, it's a nice place, but it's, you know, it's not a mansion or anything. And I kind of maybe got a little bit carried away because the whole living area is kind of on this one floor. It's functionally a bungalow. I know what you're thinking. I know. You're like, but what about that top floor? What? You can't just forget about that. What's the point of that? Sit down. Calm down. It's okay. I made it a really not that fancy attic. But in thinking that, also my loophole, there's no stairs because this house totally has one of those pull down, like, door stair thingy that just pulls down from the ceiling. So yeah, fancy it like that. But I figured while I was doing this attic, I was like, this would be a great place to keep a painting gremlin. So we went from just, you know, a sort of, you know, reasonably famous sim living in their little house to reasonably famous sim that's actually maybe not as great, or at least not earning as much as they would like for their fame. And thus, the secret to their perceived success is a painting gremlin hidden in the attic. But wait, there's more. I kind of then got a little bit carried away on the spot and kind of decided that maybe the painting gremlin is the former resident of this house, and they're like a, I don't know, film producer or like editor or writer for shows or whatever. There's something in the film industry, in acting and stuff. And the concept in my little head that was forming was, our famous sim is actually, they're not just, you know, not a global superstar yet. They're actually kind of really bad at acting, and they're beginning to get a bit more famous for being kind of bad at acting instead of, you know, good at acting. And they're maybe not the nicest individual, and they decided that obviously it couldn't be their acting skills. No. Couldn't be their acting skills, it couldn't be their less than wonderful personality. No, obviously this other sim, this like writer, producer, whatever, was out to get them. Totally like sabotaged their work, made it look as if they're terrible when they actually aren't, because they just can't accept the reality. So they were like, nah, gonna steal your house, gonna move in, gonna trap you in your own attic and make you paint for my monies. That's how it went. This is why I'm definitely going to move a sim in here. I'm gonna have like a vague, like, you know, one day of fun on that one. It'll be fine. But as you can see, Wasn't kidding, it's a very black and white theme. Like I said, sprinkles of color, like, you know, the giant red rug in the kitchen. Then you have your nice little white rugs in the bedroom. So it's nothing super epically special. It's just nice. You know, you walk into your little living room. You can just chill there. To the right's a like reasonably fancy dining area, with a very obvious, most important person seat. Because of course, if the sim ever hosts a nice little dinner party, they're getting that seat. Like, no one's taking their seat. And they have the fancy bathroom with all the fancy freaking swan bath, because what else do you need when you're famous? What says famous more than a swan bath? I don't know. Someone tell me. The fashion designer room, I was like, I didn't know what art to put in the walls. I ended up going for some of the like sort of more traditionally looking art from City Living, and I think it worked kind of well. Like, I think it feels a little bit modern, a little bit less modern, but it's all working together, hopefully. As I casually ignore all custom content. I'd say I don't use custom content that much in builds, but I've started to do more in the last few builds. Just a few things here and there, because I'm like, I might as well actually use my custom content, because normally I don't bother. And I'm like, why do I have this? Though, to be fair, I do have more custom content that either affects gameplay or, like, in Create a Sim. But I do have a fair bit of build mode custom content. It's just heavily neglected. I really was torn for picking walls here, because I was like, I want to go with the black and white theme, but everything looks wrong, and I did just stick with the living room. I just stuck with that. The black and white version of those really colorful rectangles. I feel like it gives it a vaguely retro, but like fancy and purposely themed kind of way. You can tell that I've totally like studied interior design and know the correct terms and descriptions of things. Yes. I experimented with if like I should have the floor black and white, like in stripes, and if there was a black and white option in any of the floors and walls, I probably tried it out. That's just how this build went. Everything. The potential for everything. And I'm reasonably happy with how it turned out. It's interesting, and also not that interesting, but it's nice enough. The not so famous, well, the not so nice famous sim, you know, likes it. It's fine. But whenever we get outside, I'm like a little bit proud of the garden that I made for this. It's nothing super spectacular, especially not by what some of you crazy people are capable of building, but I don't do a lot of landscaping on my builds, and when I do, it's fairly simple. This, it's not, like I said, it's nothing super fancy, but I did a little bit more than I tend to, and we're just really happy with how it looks. Eventually you'll see, because this is like a 24-minute video. It might be a bit shorter by the time this is actually existing as a thing, because there's some times where the speed is still not, like, I've clearly either paused or went BRB, but it's been long enough that even speeding the video up still has a bit of a pause there. So we'll see how that goes. So outside is basically the little seating area. So there's the chill, your little outdoor sofa, and your little outdoor drinks area, and then you have your little barbecue, and your little, because little is apparently my word of the moment, and your little seating area for eating. Also, out front, I really like how the wicker, like, love seat things fits perfectly in that slot, and it looks just awesome. And of course, I add a pool. Don't you worry. And you're going to begin to see the beginnings of my landscaping efforts. It was a small idea. I think I originally was going to aim for like basically a symmetrical like that either side, and then I was like, either like too big on either side or it would be too small to necessarily be worth it or work, and I was just like, whatever, because I also want to throw in a pool, which I do, so it's fine. And then I proceed to pick all the flowers and hedges and shrubs and see what works. I want to use the like topiary, the like shaped hedges, the llama and the elephant and all. I do shove, I think that's the llama out front, but I want to just use the more. No, it's not. It's the other one that's like the fountain, but like a plant in fountain form. But I want to use them more often. Should do. Maybe I should just make a really rich sim, give them a mansion, and make the whole garden just the llama. Like they have a llama obsession. Make as much of the house llama themed as I can, which I don't know. Do we have that much llama stuff in The Sims? Like I know we have some, especially like sports themed items which have llamas, because like llama sports teams, woo. And like there's the talking llama kids toy, but how much like decor and miscellaneous items are llama themed? Sims 4, bring back the llamas more! And you gotta have your nice little light up flowers, because I haven't actually used those in like a billion years, and I was like, yes, we will put those there. We will put those right there. Path, and there's the pool I told you about. I don't know about you guys, but I literally can't use the base like default pool water anymore. I always have to use the sparkly one, and also I'm using, you know, one of the other ones that's more different. But if I'm just going for like a plain normal pool and not like a pool that looks like a pond or anything, it's got to be that extra sparkly one. It's just, it looks normal to me now. My eyes demand all the sparkle. And I mean, look at that water. It's amazing. It's amazing. I get distracted often by how pretty The Sims 4 is. See? There's a fountain shrub out front. So, you know what? If I... Describing this whole house, just retro modern, fancy retro modern? Something like that? Shrugs, even though you can't see that I'm shrugging, but I'm telling you about it, so it's kind of like you can. Yes? Yes. I thought not. I fought with many plants for what looks right. I wanted to put something behind the seat, and I kind of did like that overhanging plant. I did like it a lot, but it doesn't quite work there. But, you know, nice window box planter thing. Should probably use those more often with my actual, like, windows in my Sims houses, but who's got time for that? I don't want to give my Sims that much watering work. Psh. Could you imagine if your Sims had to, like, maintain even, like, the decorative plants? It would be kind of cool if it was an optional thing, just to give your Sims that are plant obsessed, you know, a little bit more realism, but at the same time, if it was, like, just a default thing, be like, no. Just no. You gotta have all your little bits and pieces to make sure your Sim can get ready. You know, read their fan mail while they're getting ready. The alien plant. You know, I still haven't, like, forget famous, I still haven't used the, like, shark pond or vault yet, and I really need to get around to that. I'm just, I don't know, waiting on some of my Sims to get more famous, or stick with the family long enough, but it's okay, because I have, like, one sort of, they're not my main family, but, like, I've actually got multiple generations of and keep going back to. but I started them for Get Famous, and I keep somewhat going back to them, so they're like a secondary, almost main family. Because whenever Get Famous came out and it had like all the YouTubery like video editing stuff, I was like, yes. And I was like, I'm gonna make a family, and like the teen's gonna be like getting into YouTube and gonna get successful, but their family's not gonna stand and be like, yeah, you just run your computer, blah 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 blah. And then she's gonna get, you know, famous and rich, and they're gonna be like, aha, we can buy a really fancy house now, and just like use her money, and then she's gonna move out. Which she did, and now she has a nice family, and she has 2 kids. Which is really interesting with the whole, like, the kids of the famous people will be famous too. Mostly because I'm like, they were toddlers and their fame was decreasing. I'm like, what do you want a toddler to do about this? I'm sure there's ways. Maybe, you know, I should actually take them places. But, and so there's the nice, simple attic. It's really a simple attic. It's just, there's the cell up in the front, like slot, little gap between walls, just nicely wedged in there. I had fun using the get to work, like prison cell items, and then it's literally just anything that realistically I think could be shoved in an attic, just placed around the room, and some rugs. So like that picnic basket set, some crates. The Get Famous, like, sort of behind-the-scenes crew, video-y editing, equipment, and all that stuff, and that's kind of what sparked my idea for the painting gremlin not just being a random sim. What else do I shove in the attic? Like, there's just random bits and pieces of decoration and boxes, and, like I said, anything that I thought could reasonably be in an attic, it's probably in there. And I did have a fun time once I get to the roof, because the roof obviously sort of intersects a little with the top floor, the attic, which is mostly okay. I got it to the point where it doesn't intersect, but it still takes the spacing of some of the walls, and I couldn't like replace the wallpaper in the attic over that without turning the whole part of the roof, including the bit visible from the outside, and I was like, no, so I kind of had to just redo the attic in the same wall covering as I did for the outside of the house, which is fine. It still looks okay. Some people thought it even made it look more attic-y, which I didn't think at first, but you know what? I can get it. I can see it. It's fine. It's fine. It just wasn't my original aesthetic. And I kind of like, because you can on stairs, like the wall that pops up around the stairs, you can individually like paint each panel of it, can't you? You can't do that for roofs. Or am I imagining you can't do it in stairs either? I don't know. And with that, you've literally just got the building of the, placing all the attic stuff, and then all the roof fun, and then a small little tour through the building, and that is that. So if you want to stick around or skip through the next 6 minutes to the end and seeing everything, you do you. You do you, but my voiceover is done. I am gonna go, I don't know, watch some Dark Tourist on Netflix. I need some chill time. Chill time's good. Have some chill time. If you're like a busy person, whether through your own things you want to do or things you don't want to do, or both, have some chill time. Fit in some chill time, because you'll burn out one way or another. You deserve the chill time. That was your motivational message sponsored by Simsie. I sponsor myself. It's the only way. Someone's got to pay for Hamble's cookies, okay? But thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.